Good evening, wherever you may be throughout the vastness of the galaxy. I'm Rocken Larry Locken with Pleiadian Talk. Tonight on the show, I've got three guests with me. I've got Jane Hermstad from the land of the midnight, all night, every day, all day sun, Norway. I've got Sara Browne, downtown Sara Browne from Toronto, fresh off her new show, Rising Planet, taped earlier today. And I've got Ciara Morris from West Virginia on the east coast of the United States. Ladies, welcome. Sara, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And Jane, in the land of the midday sun, how are you?
I'm good, Larry.
Good. And Sierra in West Virginia, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, today we wanted to talk about a few topics. Twin souls and twin flame being one of them, friendship and sexuality, why it is so difficult, female and male energy, as well as money, materialism, and greed. Now, I realize all these subjects go hand in hand, so let's go ahead and get started. Jane, I know that last time that we filmed part one of this show, it was you, myself, and Pleiadian South Africa admin Zoraida Garda, and she couldn't make it tonight, but we send much love to her. And I think where we left off at that point was the twin souls and twin flames and what people are looking for in a mate and how to attract them. Do you wanna start tackling that very vast subject?
Yeah, I could. I don't know where to. I'm not really sure where to start. Twin souls, twin flame, soul friends, soul mate, all of those. It's so many different way of saying it, but it's truly not the same. It's I'm sure Sarah could also expand on that because I think she has some take on it. And
Oh, I'm
about
sure he does.
yeah,
Well, it's a bit of it's confusing, really, the twin flame and twin souls and stuff like that. But I think they they both have a deep inner connection, a deep soul connection. Um, it's kind of it's kind of difficult to explain the difference between the two. Well, I think that your twin flame is someone that has been there consciously with you all your life. It's sometimes you meet them and sometimes you don't. But when you do meet them, um, it's a connection or a memory of a past time. I'm not too sure if it's the same um,
For everybody, right. It could be.
for everybody. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same for soulmates or twin souls, but twin flames. I have a twin flame, and we met 2011, and it's a familiar feeling. It's like we've known each other
From
all
an
our lives. It just Yeah, we just picked up where we left off from
Yeah.
whatever life we had. Um, yeah, it's a little bit confusing to really explain the twin flames and the
It's hard to
soulmate.
figure out where to start with it. I know that Jason and I did,
Yeah.
and this other girl, Minchie, and I did a show on it as well. And I think it's open to interpretation. It could be one other person, and then for some people too, it could be a collective of people they've met throughout their life, or in past lives, where in every soul that they encounter that they think is their twin flame may have a couple of those characteristics, but it's really such a vast topic, and I'm surprised, and I mentioned this on another show, I'm surprised that there's not more, it's talked about everywhere, but I'm surprised that there's no specific group that just addresses that, because it's such a vast subject, and I think that we're all trying to figure this thing out, and then some people get hung up in the term twin flame, so yeah, it's really hard to say, but I think that's the best kind of way of describing the feeling. It's like somebody you know from another time, or maybe you're picking up where you left off anyway, and so it's really a vast subject to tackle as far as I'm concerned.
I wonder if Sara have ever heard Anam Cara. Do you know what that is, Sara?
No, I don't.
Okay. I posted on Facebook on the inbox for Larry my water heart. I made a heart, and inside of that, I wrote a part of John Donohue's book called Anam Cara, and that is a Gaelic for soul friend. It's like knowing your soul friend is a vital part of Celtic spirituality, since your Anam Cara is able to penetrate the depths of spiritual mysteries and reveal your life's purpose.
I have it up now, Jane. By the way, I'm taking a look at it, and I have heard the term before. An Anam Cara, yes, yeah, exactly. And I'm reading it right now. Okay.
I would love if you could read it, Larry, because I'm not that good in reading English.
Read it out. Okay, go through and read the whole thing right now. I can read it on here. Let's do it. Okay. And Anam Cara is Gaelic for soul friend. Knowing your soul friend is a vital part of Celtic spirituality. Since your Anam Cara is able to penetrate the depths of spiritual mysteries and reveal your life's purpose. Your Anam Cara sees behind your mask and knows you the way of the soul. Your Anam Cara is your teacher, life mentor, and spiritual guide. You are a wondrous, extraordinary human being, able to design, build, and aspire to just about anything you set your mind to. Yet you are fragile. You are limited to time and space. Your life is a sequence of expected and unexpected moments. There is nothing you can truly own or possess. Your life is completely transient. You live on borrowed time. The delicate existence may urge you to look deeper into yourself, but you can never see yourself as others do. The real looking glass to your life is revealed through your Anam Cara, your soul friend. Your soul friend helps you to see who you really are. Your Anam Cara awareness is what is already perfect within you. A bond between friends can be everlasting, transcending death itself. A soul friend has a profound connection to your life that is immeasurable. Such friendship is an ancient link that exists between you. Soul friends complement and join each other in the journey. Okay, that's about half of it right there. So, and it also goes on to talk about the fact that it opens up the mystery of our inner worlds, this soul friendship that you have. It just kind of, it sounds like it's kind of a bridge to that past. I mean, it's like that thing that you're missing your whole life and you don't know exactly where it is or what it is or where you remember it from, but it seems like this could possibly unlock that link. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and it's ancient way of looking at things, because the Celtic Gaelic way of looking at things was very close to the nature, and they were honoring the nature and honoring everything that was living, and in that way meeting a person who could tear down your walls and still be beside you, knowing all the reactions you had. So what Anam Cara is really all about is looking to your eyes and seeing the seat of your soul and still be loving you for what you are completely and staying with you regardless.
It's just that we don't have that tie together as to who or what that actually is. Is it, again, is it one person? Is it a collective of people? Is it really yourself?
Is it something that's more spiritual?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm listening, so I'm trying to understand what. Is it something like, because I'm very connected with my inner world. I've always have been since maybe I was born that way. I don't remember a time where I haven't been living inside my inner world, but I'm not too sure about the friendship part.
Maybe
Is
that
that something?
maybe that inner world is your friendship. I mean, maybe I don't know how to really explain it, but maybe that is. I don't know.
You're touching on something there, Sarah, because it says also the Celtic pursued friendship on a spiritual dimension through kindred spirit. For them, the Anamkara friendship established a deep commitment to truth and trust. You were brought together through providence to experience a deeper spiritual life that would take you to take you both beyond your mortal persona. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, like Sarah, when you were mentioning your twin flame, I mean that maybe this he may be connected into this as well. Do you know what I mean? I mean this may be part of that inner world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember where I know him from, but I do know it's like we just picked up where we left off as if we haven't been apart.
Exactly.
It was unusual. It was unusual when we first met. It was under terrifying circumstances with him, and so that deepened the connection much more in a way that I think if something were to happen to him, it would happen to me too. If something were to happen to me, it would happen to him too. And that's the kind of connection we have.
Do you think those circumstances accelerated that too, versus if you would have just met the guy at a coffee shop or ran into him at, wherever? I mean, do you think that those circumstances also accelerated that, realizing that that was, your twin flame?
I'm not too sure. Of course, I couldn't relate to that because we didn't meet like that. Not that I can remember if we did or not, but how we met was on dire circumstances, especially where he's from, and it was just picking up where we left off. It was an immediate love connection, a spiritual, heartfelt soul connection, something that I haven't, maybe I haven't experienced it in this lifetime now. And this, so I'm not too sure if he's connected to my inner world, but he is definitely connected to me somehow in the past.
Yeah, and as we go along, I think we just continue to try to put that puzzle together, and these things will all be revealed to us for sure in time. And yeah, it's kind of like that, and I think we're kind of, whether, depending on what the situation is, we're all in the same kind of boat where we're just trying to figure this thing out and go from there and, put these missing pieces to the puzzle together. And it's really fascinating how that goes. And so I would sure as hell like to know, but then again, you got to be patient with it and, and just take it from there. Which ties into the next thing we could tie this into. It's kind of a touchy subject, the twin flame, but the female and male energy, like what is the difference between the yin and the yang? Okay, the female, the male energy, of course, is a yin and yang in 3D, but what do you, if anybody has any thoughts on this, what do you guys see as the purpose for that? Has the purpose for these two separate energies?
Well, I can say something about that. I posted on Pleiadians today a post that touched upon exactly that subject. The female and male energy is really to recognize, as a woman, recognize the female energy, the strength, and not that female energy is not a strength, because it really is, but it's different. It's like um, pushing out and pulling in. It's like working together in harmony. Um, the male force would very much be in a warrior position, much more going out without taking um, any act upon considerations for care and loving feelings towards others. It's more about carrying out things, um, whilst the female energy is more about loving, caring, and consideration of others. So, and we need to pull this together because we need to work in harmony and to put all things together amongst humanity, and also throughout the world as we see it today. It's really very needed. Um,
I agree with you, and that could tie in the inner strength too. This inner world we're talking about. The female energy is such an overall inner, all-knowing in strength, and whereas the male is an outer per se, and we really do need to pull that together. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, go on, Jane. I was just, I was just making that point.
Yeah, it's an understanding about how things works together. We need both. That's why we have the yin and the yang, and we have the female and male energies. It's just to balance out everything that is in a perfect harmony. We can't do it all alone as a female energy, because there wouldn't be any boundaries or any limits to uh, that. That would be wrong. That there wouldn't be any strength and determinations for things. I think we need the male energy for exactly that. We need to carry out things, to dare things. And I think the male energy is more of the kind of pushing things away, having things done, and daring to do so. Um, but at the same time, cooperating with the female energy that says you have to consider this and that. You have to consider everything that's fragile and everything that's vulnerable.
And if you notice too, over the last several decades in our society, probably since I would say the 1960s is when it really started, you have seen this come to fruition overall, where the male energy on this planet has gone a little bit more towards the feminine energy, and you have also seen with the advent, of course, of the women's rights movement of the 1960s, you have seen the slow matriculation of the female energy kind of becoming a more of a masculine energy too. And I think whether society realizes it or not, you have seen that bridge coming together. And I don't know if a lot of people would think of it that way, but that's sure the way that I've seen it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, I agree
There's
with you.
that's how it works.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I think that's how it works about the masculine. The masculine needs to become a bit more feminine, and the feminine needs to become more masculine. Therefore, there's no polarity. That's what the yin and yang is polarity. We have to bridge the yin and yang to polarity with the masculine. Um,
Yeah, I
that
agree. And you
that's
know what you
that's
find in society,
balance. I know,
Yeah.
and I learned how about the female and the masculine energies through my elders, and women is given such a status, which is not much seen today in the world. We're given a status of, well, every decision, the women make the last decision of any kind of major decision, whether it's and it's a collective decision, but the woman has the last say. Um,
And that's the way I've always thought it should be done, actually, too. And then you get a lot of stereotypes in today's society that say, I've heard this from a lot of older people that say, well, I don't know what the world's coming to. Women are becoming more like men, and men are becoming less macho and less, less man-like. And it's just they almost give the undertone like it's the downfall of society, when really this is a great thing, and this is where we've always needed to be headed towards.
It's a great thing. It creates harmony. I learned a lot about what it is to be a woman from the grandmothers, and the role that we are supposed to be playing, because we are so connected to the earth, and we are life barriers. It's actually the responsibility of women to bring back their men, to bring them back to the connection to the source of all things, because men have strayed.
Yes, we have.
And they lost connection. So
like
that's what I'm taught. I've been taught. It's a really hard responsibility.
No wonder you ladies
balance
are irritated.
and within that, in my own, the men are no less thought of as less. The women are not thought of as less. It's equal.
But it's just a known thing and an understood thing how to play out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the masculine side deals with the strength of the...
So you were walking all over each other. Sorry, go ahead, Jane.
Yeah, what I said is the masculine side deals with the strength of the self. It is what causes you to act either timidly or confidently. The thing that is most important is determining the strength of the masculine side. Is the value that you at a deep level place on yourself. This is a value within yourself that you have really and truly earned. It could be thought of as a sort of self-esteem. Placing a high value on yourself affects your whole being and helps you feel strong and confident in opening and operating your life. And I think of the female side, like masculine side also, the basis for the feminine side is also a value, but instead of being a value you place on yourself, the feminine side is based at the same deep level on a value that you place on others. It could be thought of as a sort of other esteem. The value you place on others affects your whole being. If you have a strong feminine side and place a high value on others, you are often giving and unselfish. You usually know what is good for people, and you tend to operate in ways that helps others get what they want out of life. You happily let people operate their own life without interference from you, but then asked, you are also willing to help by supporting, cooperating, and giving advice. People feel comfortable with you because you give of who you are without pushing yourself on others. And if you have a strong feminine side, people also feel comfortable being around you because there is no selfishness for them to detect.
You know, and Jane, I think that ties in perfectly to the last point we're gonna make on this subject, and then we'll switch gears. But you talk about value and things like that, and then of course, where does money, materialism, and greed play into this? You know, in a 3D world, and you know why is it so hard to deal with, and you know, in things of that nature. I know that was one of the subjects that you had listed, and I just thought it would be a good time to tie that one last part of it in.
Yeah, you know, that side is it's not a very, I don't know exactly where to start, but that's to not hurt anyone. I don't mean to hurt anyone or say anything bad about the masculine side, but the pressure have been, if you look into the politics, there has been a masculine side to it, and mostly men, and it's not only because of this that the economically side of everything is crumbling, falling down, but mostly it's the masculine side that has affected upon the world now, because we haven't come to the consideration that we need to take care of everyone, and people are dying, kids are dying, there is wars going on, and it's a very harsh world to live in.
No, I agree with you. I think the masculine energy has been the real problem, and I very seriously doubt I would get much of an argument from the other ladies on the panel on that one. But yeah, and I think it's a good thing that we're kind of moving more towards, we're moving more away from that. At the same time, I understand that it was needed for singularity purposes and to educate people polarity-wise as we go through this journey. But yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. And before we switch gears, girls, do you guys have anything else that you wanted to touch upon about that? And I'll throw that out to Sara or Ciara as far as the twin flame goes and moving more towards singularity with the masculine and feminine energy. Does anybody else have a quick point they want to make before we change it up?
I have a question.
Go.
When do you actually know who the twin flame is? Once, you know what I mean? I'm kind of nervous on asking this question. First time talking about this.
You'll know.
First time, long time.
You will know when you meet your twin flame. It's felt. There's a connection, very, very deep within the soul. You will know your twin flame. He or she will come when you are ready, and it will be a memory. As the best way I could explain it, it's a memory, a feeling that you have met before. It's a feeling that you have spent probably many lifetimes together. It's a deep, deep, undescribable love.
Yeah, not
you will
just
know
a crush, right, Sara? I was just going to say, Sara, right? It's the memory of knowing them from somewhere else, or knowing them from somewhere else before. It's not like a crush, because a lot of people fall into the trap where they get a crush on somebody. Oh God, we've got so much in common. Oh, we have so much to talk about. Oh, this must be my twin flame. And then it lasts 2 weeks, and then they have another and another. So it must be that feeling, like you're saying, that you've known them from you know them from somewhere else.
Yeah,
Could
It is. It
go
is.
ahead.
They know you. They know every aspect of your life. They know every secret. You don't even have to tell them anything because they know your soul. You also will know every aspect of their life, every feeling, every drama, every suffering, every happiness, because your life and your twin flame's life are the same. They're one and the same. You share the same soul, the same consciousness. You will know when you meet. It's not a crush. It's not something that's gonna just, you might meet that person walking down the street. It might just out of the blue. When you're ready, your twin soul will. You can't do too much without your twin soul or your twin flame. You can't do too much without them because they're part of your awakening. So the balance within the twin flames is that, for instance, my twin flame is from a war-stricken country, and that's how we met in this life, and so we can't live without each other. So the connection that you will have is extremely deep. It is. I really can't really explain it. It's like a divine love. It's very divine, extremely divine.
With no judgment attached to that love, right?
There's no judgment. There's no ridicule. There's no. There's just pure, innocent, heartfelt, divine love, and you can't really judge each other because that twin flame is part of you. So if it'd be judging yourself, really. There's no limitation. There's no boundaries.
There's no, oh, you son of a bitch.
It's like being on cloud 9.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no judgment like, oh, you son of a bitch, you forgot the flowers or you forgot to get a gallon of milk on the way home. It's not, there's no judgment like that. It's such on a higher dimensional level that none of that exists per se, that, little minuscule.
It's something that is spiritual. It's a extremely spiritual, conscious relationship. It's extremely spiritual, and that's how the connection is made, is through spirituality. And they are part of you. They're part of your journey. They are part of your awakening, and they have been with you. You have been with them forever. It's just now a lot of twin flames are manifesting and meeting each other.
Does that clear it up for you at all, Ciara? Do you have the answer now that you were looking for, or are you even more confused? It's a really deep subject, sweetie, I think, and you know what I mean? Like Sara said, you'll just know it when you feel it, and it's not your typical crush or, oh, I'm so in love, or that person, oh, they just get me, they just know me, and it'll be more like you know them from somewhere else kind of a feeling would be the simplest way maybe I could put it, but it's so much more vast than that. So Ciara, do you have any more thoughts on that, or is your mind just swimming right now?
There's one other question that really struck me big time.
Okay.
Could dates, like birth dates, for instance, yesterday was the 6th, I saw the date of...
Yeah, happy birthday, Sara, by the way.
Wait, whose birthday was it yesterday?
I think it was Sarah's birthday today or yesterday, wasn't it, Sara?
Oh, that's okay. That's my fake account. Don't worry about that. My birthday's out there.
Oh, that's right.
That is in case Facebook kicks me off of my regular account. So that's okay. My birthday's on March 2nd.
Oh, that's right. Sara Browne's birthday is today. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ciara, go ahead about the birthday question.
Could, like, dealing with, like, the twin flame, could birth dates, like, June 6th could have anything to do with it, or is it like a remembrance of a past life, basically, when you see a certain date?
Well, and I'll let somebody else answer this, but I'll just say this. I think that it's more of an inner knowing, but there's certainly no doubt about it. Something like that could provide a very minute clue, although I wouldn't really necessarily get hung up on that. I don't know, and I'd like to get anybody else's thought on that, but that's just kind of how I would see that.
Yeah, it's spiritual. There's no dates in spirituality. There's no dates in other realms or in the inner world as well. Your twin flame is something that is deeply within your spirituality. It is felt. I'm not too sure about the June 6th thing. I don't know because I don't really do dates on anything, but it is spiritually felt. You will know your twin flame or your soulmate. It is deep, and it runs very deep, beyond your imagination. That's as best as I can put it.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that if you get hung up on a date too much, yeah, it could certainly be a very, very minute clue, but to even consider that in the equation is getting off of the topic or getting out of the realm of it being spiritual, because there is no dates, there is no time, like Sara said, in the inner world or in the higher dimensions. There is no such thing. It's zero time, basically, because everything is all at once. Everything is just an eternal now moment of allness, of oneness, so to speak. And, before we switch topics again, like I said, Ciara, did you have any other questions you have on that?
No.
Okay, Jane, do you have any thoughts on that before we switch into another subject, which I think will be a good one?
Yes, I most certainly do. I've been doing some notes whilst you've been talking.
Great.
And, as I told you, Larry, I'm still working on these 20 questions and trying to give some answers. And I've been pondering YouTube and Google, and with articles I've saved during this last 3 years on the subjects. And I'm pretty much getting down to the bottom of the questions. And talking about soul friend, twin souls, twin flames, it's really something you can divide those, because a soul friend could be as well a woman, and I think Jason also touched the subject about that. And a soul friend could be a woman, it could be your best friend, it could be your daughter, it could be your sister, it could be your aunt, it could be anyone that you connect with on a very close level. It could be a friend that you met during your teens and you meet them again 30 years after, and like nothing have happened in between, you're just catching up, sort of.
Yes.
And a twin flame is what Sara is talking about, is the person that you have this deep understanding, that you have this deep respect. It's mutual. It's going both ways. There's no such thing as what you were talking about. Oh, please, what happened? You forgot the milk and all of those things. It's more about you have this deep understanding, this deep respect, this acceptance of everything. And as Sara said, you will ridicule yourself if you say something bad. And it's also about the language. You don't use bad language to the person that you love the most in this life, because it isn't going anywhere. And you're all about connecting to everything. It's not all connecting only to each other, but to everything, and this deep respect for life in general, and not only for life on this planet, but beyond this planet. It's it's cosmos, it's universe, it's galaxies, it's for every kind of life that's living and breathing. And I had this question on Facebook the other day. It was a person asking me, when do I meet my soulmate? When do I meet my twin flame? And what do I do when I meet this person? And I said, you're not ready. And that person is not ready either. So there is no sex then. And I said, don't worry about it. What you do in between is up to you. It is all about observing, experiencing, and expanding. And that the time that you use is always about getting together alive and preparing to meet your twin flame, if you meet this twin flame in this life, because it's not even sure that you have made a contract on meeting this life.
Exactly.
He or she could be on another level and exploring other things in another life at the same time. You know, time is not the same on other levels. In the fifth dimension, life is not the same, time is not the same. One day in that life could be a whole lifetime in this life.
Yeah, you could.
In your reality. So the contract could be that you're about to meet next lifetime, or in another level, ascending to the other level.
That's a hard thing for some people to swallow too, don't you think, Jane? Is that that their twin flame, it might not be that they're meant to meet them in this lifetime, and then of course you give them the answer like, you know, you should have told that person actually that nope, you're going to meet your twin flame on June 6th of 2016, and you need to be completely celibate until then, and don't even date or don't even look at somebody else. No, I'm just kidding on that one, but I think it is a hard thing for some people to swallow, the concept that they may not be meeting that person in this lifetime, you know, but that's the reality of it, I think.
Yeah, of course that's hard, because life here on this timeline is a long life, and everything is very slow. It's like walking into mercury mud. It's yeah.
with bricks weighing you down.
Yeah, you're waiting and waiting, and you're longing for this person to appear in your life, and then he or she doesn't, and that's hard to take. Of course, that's hard to take, because you will always be missing a part of you.
Yes.
That you really long to meet.
An inner loneliness, so to speak.
Yes, but at the same time, you need to know that the time you spend on this planet is to expand and explore and observe, to make yourself ready for this person on another level, if you're not going to meet this person in this level, in this life. And if you are, you ought to consider yourself very lucky, because that is a part of you that will fulfill you. He or she will tear down the walls and still respect you, making you, I wouldn't say a whole person, because you are a whole person, but it will expand to what you are, and you will have the opportunity to learn even more and get more out of this life.
Right.
About past lives, I posted also an article, and I will post it also as an answer to that touches spirituality and sexuality, and I will urge everyone to read that article. It's very long, but it explains how other lifetimes and even your ancestors could be a reason for why you are experiencing and all the time getting this karma shit after you. It could be that something is going back to you, and you need to fix what your ancestors have been doing wrong. It explains why you are, if you're having a difficulty accepting anything regarding sexuality and your personality. Why is everything going so wrong in my life? Why doesn't anyone want me? And when it comes to sexuality, you have some limits put upon you. And you will understand reading that article. It's really very good. I will post it, and I hope that because you will learn much about it, whatever problem you have.
Oh my God. Jane, did you say the word shit? Did you say shit a little bit ago? You might have said shit.
Language, Larry.
Language, yes. I'm always one to watch my language. I know that, and
I think that will. I think most of the people on this earth would understand. We call it also dirt.
yes.
From the ground, and shit also. That's the same thing really. But I can use the big letters if you want, but I wouldn't. I can have a hang on it on the way you have. It's really something different when you swear. I'm not very good at swearing.
I know I have a way of using the words really powerfully. Yes, I know. Thank you, everybody. I think it's time to switch gears, and we're going to go on to the subject that should be a little bit more interesting, I think. Jane, it was one of your last few topics that you had sent to me as far as the history of Mother Gaia goes, science, the Akashic Record, how that all ties in. And I know that Mother Earth is something near and dear to Sarah's heart, and this should be an interesting subject. But Jane, what exactly were you getting at when you listed that as a topic? Mother Gaia, Earth, science, black magic, that kind of stuff. If you want to just kind of go all over the board and give us a quick rundown on that, and then I'll let Sarah take it from there.
Yeah, okay. I'll go to my list and see what I have been written. My memory.
Yes, I know. Yes. It's an ancient soul memory.
Yeah. History of Gaia, science. Is it bad or good? The history of Gaia. There is so many different takes on it, but I've covered it with different. By the way, the video on YouTube that called Home, and there is one called Tribe. Those are very good. I recommend it highly to everyone. It goes back to the history of this world and taking it all together from from Egypt to South America and all over the place, really, to China and everywhere. It pretty much sums up what we see in historical buildings and religion, and how we can use that to develop as human beings, and to understand also the aliens visiting our planet. And when it comes to magic and Book of Shadows, we will have another show on that. We agreed upon that, Larry.
Yes,
and I think also Sarah would be very interested in having a take on that.
Absolutely.
Regarding that, yeah, and regarding to the Akashic records, that's I love that one, because Akashic records is everyone's life and everyone's thought. There is no new thoughts. If you are thinking something all by yourself and thinking that that's yours, it's not. It has been recorded before, and it's nothing new under the sun. Akashic Records is recording our life constantly. I will have also posted a video on that. It's a long one. It takes too much time to go into it, but it's mainly about our thoughts, whatever we say, whatever you read, whatever you can conceive of is going into the Akashic Records. Whatever you hear, whatever you're thinking about, what you hear and what you see and what you smell and what you can touch upon is the Akashic Record, basically. That's the understanding of the Akashic Records. And races and why we are so different, that is something we have to really work upon on this planet now, because if you cannot tolerate another race, another color, another different being on this planet, then how on earth could you ever tolerate any being coming outside of this planet visiting us? So that's why I'm constantly saying, are you really ready?
For disclosure, right.
Yes, and I think, would you be ready to see this in the nighttime, in the darkness? Or would you be so scared, even if that was a Pleiadian humanoid being? I think you would be scared seeing spaceship landing in your garden and wanting to get into your house, or you would be thinking, my God, what is this landing outside my garden coming into my house? What is this benevolent being, or is this, what is this? You would be, some of us would be afraid, some would
Totally.
welcome it. And we need to understand that even if it's dark or light outside, it could happen in broad daylight as well. And we need to get known deep within ourselves. Where is my fears? Do I welcome them? And the more you face your fears, the more ready you will be of meeting these beings.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people would be scared even if they were humanoid looking to meet them right now. So how can we become a galactical civilization per se if that's going to be the case until we get over our issues here on Earth, you know, with each other? I mean, we can't even begin to think about that until that happens.
Yeah, we will have different. They will have different features, traits. They will appear, and then they will say something or do something that is different from the way we behave, such as telepathic communication. You don't have to say anything, you just have to think it, and you can communicate by telepathically awareness, and that's all you need to do. And you will be thinking, I've never done this before. I haven't been in contact with my higher self. I haven't been contacting any angels. I haven't heard any voices in my head before. And I'm not sure if this is my thoughts or if this is a real voice speaking to me. So the more you meditate and the more you contact with your higher self and with the being aware of what is your thoughts and what is a communication between, for instance, you and God, you and the source. You can communicate with the source, not only with the angels, but you can go all the way if you want to, and you will hear the voice. It's not very difficult. If you can communicate with other beings and even have visions of things, awareness of things, you can easily communicate with the source as well.
I think you're right, and that's kind of right up my alley. The way I describe it to people, it's visual with me, and it's thought telepathy. It's not like I hear a voice in my head going, "Larry, Larry." I mean, it's a thought telepathic form of communication, and you're speaking to the racists, and another the racist racists I call them. We've also got to get more in touch with the Earth and take care of the spaceship called Mother Gaia that we're on, because until we can learn how to get along with each other, and until we can learn how to take care of our ship that is Mother Gaia, it's just not even conceivable to go into that realm. And I know that Sarah's subject that she really is near and dear to her heart is Mother Earth, and Gaia. I'm getting all tongue twisted here. Sorry. But Sara, yeah, what are your thoughts on not only what Jane has to say about the races getting along, but also taking care of the ship we are on called Mother Earth, Gaia? I'll get that right one of these days.
Well, let's see. How can I put the spin on this? As human beings of this planet, as peoples of this Mother Earth, we have to take responsibility for the mistakes that we've made. We have to take responsibility for what we have created. We have to take responsibility for our thoughts and emotions. That's called taking actions. As far as the beings, what we're seeing today is greatly manipulated. They're going through our religious institutions, our schools, our governments, through the people. These benevolent beings are not coming here. They're sitting outside our borders, yes, but they're not coming here. They would not risk their lives to come here. I don't know if that would make any sense to anybody, but if I were one of them up in space, I would not come here. It's hostile. It's a hostile environment. It's a hostile mental environment. We are being plunged mentally, psychologically, emotionally by visitors. And I have to call them visitors because that's what they are. Visitors that did not have our permission to come here. The Greys, the Reptilians, the Draconians, those races there is plunging the people. Wars is a good example of what's happening here on this planet. Is the wars,
divide and conquer,
division, exactly. But it's not divide and conquer. You see, they don't want to destroy this planet. They're trying to have an allegiance to the government, through humanity, breeding with the humans, with us here, so that they want our allegiance.
It's basically a control game. So they
have no good intentions,
right
here. And they're not welcome here. We did not invite them here.
Right.
The reason why they are here is while we are competitive with each other. We are violent towards each other. We ourselves are destroying this planet, and they do believe that they have to save us from ourselves, which is not of good intentions for us. They believe that we are really destroying this planet, and so they have to intervene. That is intervening with free will. No one has the right to intervene or invade any planet that is against free will.
Right.
And so our freedoms and our self-determination is at great risk. It's at risk because we are losing our freedom every single day. We may not even see it.
It's so
People
slow,
don't see
right?
that.
It
It's
happens so
quick. It's quick
yes.
that they project different realities. So what we see in the world today may not even exist. It may not be even real. But how do we know that? Because we are not prepared for the challenges ahead.
You know,
People think that somebody is going to come here and save us.
right.
They are not coming here. They are here above our borders,
Yeah, they won't be.
but they will not enter.
Exactly. They will not come here per se until we have saved ourselves, until we have invited them, until we have accomplished the mission. Because really, in that aspect, we are our own ETs we've been waiting for to save ourselves. And you talk about that. You know, they want to save us from ourselves, right? I hear that reptilian mentality in a lot of people when they have the opinion of somebody who say, okay, well, they say somebody, a family member of theirs is using drugs, or a family member of them is doing this or doing that wrong in life. The mentality, instead of like helping and loving them, is, oh, I've got to save them. We've got to save them from themselves. We know what's right for them. We've got to intervene on their free will instead of just giving love.
Well, it's not just, and I'm not going to name names, but it's not just the reptilian race.
Well,
it's not just a draconian race. People, yeah, but people think that that's just the only races here. No, exactly. We are being invaded. It's other planetary races. It's other beings coming here, thinking that they have the right, because they think that they are in the right to save us from ourselves, which is not of intentions for us. It has no good outcome for us as a human race here on this planet. And I'm not just talking about the reptilians and greys. There's other beings here.
Other humanoid beings, all kinds of. Yeah.
There is, and I don't know if people know about, and I'm not going to name the different races here.
Yeah, we don't know that.
That's for my own. That's for my own safety.
Right.
But there is I don't know if you guys heard about the interbreeding program. Well, a lot of people know about these interbreeding programs. The Black Projects, for instance. The interbreeding programs is the interbreeding these beings with the human race. So therefore, there's not many walking around right now, but there is a few that are walking among us that look exactly like you and me, that acts exactly like you and me, but they're different.
You know, Sarah,
they lack empathy, they lack emotion,
right?
They lack thoughts.
Is that the stereotypical? You know, you've heard the stories probably, of course, of the black-eyed children, or the black-eyed, you know what I mean? A kind of a soulless look in their eyes, kind of a heartless look. Walking around like us. But it seems like,
I'm pretty sure there are a few of those too. But no, they look exactly like you and me. Eye color, hair, everything. They're humans. They're half-breeds.
Right. But is there kind of a soul feeling about them? Kind of a heartless? Do they? You know. No, because they want their role being breeded here among us as humans, because they're interbreeding with us, which is against our free will. We are being forced to interbreed, yet we don't know nothing about it. We know nothing about what's happening on this planet. So this interbreeding program is to interbreed these extraterrestrials and other beings from other planets that are not supposed to be here. We did not invite them here to this planet, and they're interbreeding with us so that one, they could create more, and that would turn humanity towards each other, against each other. But that's not their goal. They want humanity to come together in allegiance with them. For their agenda. People promise you new technology, while their worlds are
technological. They don't have any resources. So when the resources run out, they plague other planets.
Yeah.
We are losing our resources if we don't become fully self-efficient in every single way and every means necessary. We are going to have to search out off this planet and do the resource, because we are losing our resources. It's being stolen right from under us.
Is it possible, Sara, some of these people, some of these interbred entities that may be already here, is it possible that some of them that are a generation or so down the line, is it possible they don't even know, that they're not even consciously aware that they're one of them?
Oh no, they know.
So every one of them has that in them. They know.
They know. They know who they are, and they know exactly what they are supposed to be doing here. They know. They're not asleep. You understand? They are not asleep. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're plaguing, especially with the religion institutions. That is the biggest thing that's going on right now around the world in all religion institutions, because that brings people together under one allegiance.
So this could be, I mean, not to stereotype, but people like they like to talk about the royal family and different world leaders being in this bloodline. Could that be possible, that key figures like that in our world of religious institutes, maybe even whether it's the Vatican, could those people be a part of what you're saying?
Absolutely. They are. They're part of the interbreeding program.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah,
because
with other beings. With other beings. With many beings. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, with other beings.
The stereotype per se, like that, and that's kind of why I use the word reptilian, although it's so many beings, it's too many beings to count. But when David Icke talks about this subject, that's kind of what he's referring to. It sounds like maybe he might use the term reptilian bloodline, but it sounds to me like he's talking about exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is, because there are other beings here, and the interbreeding has been going on for years, maybe even thousands of years. But now, today, like in this time, it is extensive. The interbreeding program is extensive. Like they are interbreeding like crazy.
And all over the earth too.
All over the earth. This is why humanity must come together and gain new knowledge, higher knowledge, new knowledge, because the old world, the old ways are not working. We need to gain higher knowledge, higher wisdom, new ways of living, because if we don't resist them, we're going to be in big trouble.
They're
going to promise people. Yes.
I'm just listening. I want to add something, because I was wondering if maybe Ciara or Larry is thinking, how do we know who they are since they have been interbreeding with us so long? How do we recognize it? And the way we do recognize it is that they have no, they don't vibrate at the same level as we do in a positive way. They vibrate in a negative level. They want to obtain the negativity in everything, and in whatever they do. So they don't.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Not all of them do.
What?
The power of, they have, it's like a seduction. They can come down right to I love you and all this stuff, and people are believing it. Many people are falling for them. There is enough people on this planet that are falling for it, and they have been falling for it for years now. And they may come from a lower state, but they're definitely not a lower state of mind. Will relate to you because they want your allegiance. They will shower you with every possible need that every wants, because people want to be saved. People want hope, and they're going to give you hope. That's the power of persuasion.
In a long time, as long as it serves them. And at the minute you don't serve them anymore, they will make you vanish. They will just toss you out.
Yes.
That's why the knowledge and wisdom has to be risen and gain new knowledge, because that's our only way of because one thing they don't understand is the resistance. They believe that this freedom of thought is not right. They believe that this freedom of ideas that we have is not right. The worst thing that could happen for them is if we start resisting, and we have been resisting. That's why there's all kinds of protests, because we are resisting them. They can't handle that. So if humanity really get up off their knees, like David Icke says, and really take a look outside of the big box and really look at the whole picture of what is happening, because humanity right now is being invaded, and there is a biggest interbreeding program that is extensively happening at this time, and there is the huge manipulation. Humanity is being seduced. This is the biggest seduction that many other people, including scientists, has ever seen. We are being seduced.
But if we can vibe together as a collective and resist as a complete collective, the more and more, then on that, as far as that level of awareness goes, their vibration does get easier and easier to spot through the feel. And like you said, like you said, Sarah, they will come and seduce you and be your. But once they don't need you anymore, or you don't serve their purpose, you can. It's amazing how quick you start to see that negative vibration in them. I mean, and it can turn on a fucking dime. It can go from being completely seduced to just like, well, they don't need you anymore. And all of a sudden,
they don't want. Yeah, but you see, you understand. They don't want to kill us. They want our allegiance. They don't want to. They don't even want to kill the planet, because they want our allegiance. They want us to become a planet that is of technology. Well, this planet is one of the only planets in our solar system that is biodiversity. We don't even realize what this Earth is, because we are so busy living on her that we don't live with her. If we started living with her, we can start to appreciate what this Earth really is. No one even really can completely understand that, or even come to that consciousness of what this planet really is.
Exactly. We live with her, we live on her, so we're living with her. We don't really observe that. It's like, I liken it to living around people that you're closest to, like your family, your loved ones. It's so easy to take them for granted and not realize and see what you got, because you're with it and you're just living with it day to day. You're not living for it or to help it per se. It's just, even though you think you want to, but you're not seeing the big picture because you're just there with it all the time, and it makes it hard to appreciate it. And I think that kind of ties into this too.
Yeah. I mean, we have so much work we have to do, and we have to prepare ourselves, because they are here. The visitors are here, and we are emerging with their energies. We are merging, and we're going to have, and there's going to be there is great challenges ahead. People think that we're going to live in sky in cloud 9, but we're not. We are in a very challenging time, and it is going to be challenged. We are going to be challenged. You think this is worse? They think we're being challenged now? Wait until they show themselves.
I totally agree with you, Sarah. I've tried to post so many times. I don't think so many people have gone into it, but going into if you write learnmindpower.com and going into the podcasts of that, and it's about thoughts, subconsciousness, and learning mind power, learning how to think, and learning how to reveal all this stuff, because it's really getting into our heads, and we have as human beings we have the ability to fall in love, and when we fall in love, we sort of lose our heads. You know, it's our head has the capacity of thinking 100% as long as you're not in love. When you're in love, you go with everything and you think everything is good and everything. You have this trust built into your DNA. It's like we haven't been invaded by anyone, and humanity as being is really into this trust and loving, caring species. And I think this is not a kindergarten. From where we come from is we don't understand our own power. If we stand in our own power, I think we can accomplish so many things.
That too, but one thing, I mean, we are spiritual people, but one thing we do lack is knowledge. Some knowledge comes a deep knowledge to the source, and we need to get back to that, because without that knowledge and wisdom, we don't have a whole hell of hope here of surviving this challenges, because we have compassion. Most of us have this difference, heartfelt compassion, which people should need to start demonstrating that. Deep inner love with no limitation, stop the judgment and ego. But what people are lacking is knowledge, true knowledge. We've been fed knowledge, all right, yeah, through the history books, but most of that knowledge is wrong. Our history is a lie. And it goes all the way down to Egypt, all the way down. The whole history is a freaking lie. So therefore, we need to get back to knowledge and wisdom, and learning new knowledge and new wisdom, because we are not really prepared for what's going to come next. I am pretty sure of that, because humanity is not fully prepared yet, especially to face the challenges of these visitors.
Yeah, to keep it going a little bit more is the knowledge I'm seeking, and I think that it can help a lot of the humanity today to gain knowledge and wisdom, is to learn mind power, because it has to do with being aware, conscious, yes, with thoughts and your body and your mind, and how to attract things into your life, and create love, and to be a quantum. I don't know if you have ever heard about quantum warrior. I think that's where we are coming from in the first place, to manifest. We are super beings because we can. We came here in a contract to make a difference, to have a mission, to create love, and be aware of the planet Earth as a living being, and live in harmony with her. And I think that's why I think also we don't remember what kind of power we possess. Because when we came here to this earth, we came here to make a big difference, and we do it, and we are allowed to manifest, to come here to this earth as a human being because we can, because we are the ones on this planet. There is so many beings who wants to come here. They will take on any form, just to have been here. Yes.
But at the same time, that they are coming here with our permission, and that's an invasion.
Yes, but I also think that to come here on Earth, to be born and to live
on permission for us to even enter our borders, because they're coming here and manipulating humanity into.
Yeah, but you guys are talking two different things. We're talking the visitors, right, Sarah? But we're also talking people that have came here, that are from another lifetime, that are incarnated here, that are wherever it may be that they come from, for that knowledge. I mean, I think it's two different things. You've got the visitors and those that were incarnated here to awaken, like we're awakening right now, like some of us that are awakening, or we're from Earth another previous time, but still, it's two different things. And I think it's
Yes.
You've got that, and he trying to awaken, and plus you've got these visitors here that are trying to fuck everything up and throw us for a curve.
Exactly. I'm talking about humanity and how we come to this earth as a human being, being born here, and having this contract with coming to this world as a human being, not as any other being taking our place, but living on this earth and in harmony with Gaia. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of guts and a lot of experience from before and other lifetimes to take upon this task of claiming the planet Earth as a human being, not as another being.
Or as a human being. Right.
Yeah. And I think also about being a quantum warrior is like being a guardian of the gates of the subconscious. Like the person who is podcasting this is talking about being weaver of the patterns, guardian of the gates of the subconscious, custodian of the will. Our mind is greater than we think, and mind, body, subconscious, and soul is a wonderful. The mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master.
That's a good way to put it.
I have to agree.
Yeah,
I have to agree.
And when you talk about the patterns of energy, thoughts are real powers, and our minds reads and directs its energy through intentional and repetition, regularly thinking thoughts about what we wish to manifest, and we weave the patterns allowing this to happen. And to be the guardian of the gates of the subconscious, the guardian to the gates of subconscious, incredible, powerful, and will accept any image, believe, for power that we repeatedly think about. Thoughts, repetitions, We imprint into the subconscious. Our mind is responsible to make sure that the thoughts it thinks are of the highest quality. We train our mind to think thoughts of success, happiness, and positive outcomes in our lives, and to avoid fear, worry, criticism, and other petty habits which weaken us. And thoughts are powerful. We must always be aware of what we are thinking. About the custodian of will, trains our mind to be what should I call it? Athletic of the mind, and learn how to manifest. When the will and the imagination are combined together, we weave powerful patterns of energy, and the will is a power of attention. When we have a clear goal and a direction of our life, and we know we can use our will and our imagination to achieve this. Will is a navigator, a direction, making the right choices in both choice and actions leads to goals. We are not our mind, or arms, or feet. We are souls. Thinking we are our mind is a trap. Fall into our own making. All parts are equally important. That's my take on it. And I think he's totally right. And he's talking about also foundation beliefs, techniques and tips to achieve goals, awakening, about create a reality. He's talking about the consciousness that creates the universe dwells within us, and we exist and in energy web and are one with it. With the energy field, the quantum vacuum, the consciousness weaves and direct energies, and everything exists for us as a possibility. There are no limitations other than those we oppose upon ourselves.
Exactly. And because it's a free will universe as well, you have counter agendas that come into play too. And there's a trillion different agendas on a trillion different levels. And so it really comes down to consciousness and mind power and awakening to the greatness that we are to combat some of these things. So that ties into the universe as a whole. And then plus, of course, you do have people, entities coming here with free will that want to impose upon our agenda, but yet they weren't invited here, so they're imposing upon our free will, so it seems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's also talking about the key to our awakening, 7 disciplines that increase our effectiveness, secrets of energy, stalking the intentional dialogue, shift our energy to improve our lives, dropping pettiness, self-importance, self-pity. There is so many things he's talking about, and I think we need to learn how to use our mind and combine the mind and the consciousness and the subconsciousness together to be aware of what's really happening and to get the all together so you can feel it when it's happening. You have to train yourself. You have to be constantly aware and constantly training for these tasks in order to be ready to meet what Sara says that we are meeting, because it's coming. She is totally right. It's coming. It's there for us. If we think this is difficult, it's nothing. It's really nothing to compare to what is coming for us. And this is the time when we need to prepare for it. And I think it's really very important also for people to be going into the quantum warrior and to the learn power, mindpower.com, going into that and see. Just have a look at it. It's podcasts. You don't have to read anything. He is talking all the time, and it's several sessions, and there is so much to learn. And if you I don't think you can just listen. You have to take notes. At one point, you understand that this is tasks. It's like going to school. You have to get to know yourself and your power and stand in your power to be in this one. And it's really important for everyone to understand. That's why I'm always also thinking, oh my God, we have come so short. We have such a long way to go. We can never meet these powers alone without being fully conscious of what's really going on and to see the whole pictures.
And and that's not to paint a doom and gloom scenario for people that might hear this and go, we're just trying to give some kind of a fear story. No, we're just trying to give the reality of what we're up against in this time. This is a very important time. I don't think that we need to remind anybody about how important of an era this is that we're living in. I think it goes without saying.
But people don't know. That's the thing. People are being manipulated. And so this is knowledge that everyone that needs. It may sound doom and gloom, but that is the truth. And people don't know what is going on. That's why there is so much confusion, because we are being manipulated and seduced in the great persuasion of this reality, and people really don't know what is going on, because a lot of people are not prepared. They don't have this knowledge of what is happening, what is going on. And so it may seem doom and gloom, but truth has to come out one way or the other, and truth is never that pretty.
Not usually.
Not usually.
No, yeah, it really isn't. And I mean, but even people that may be listening to this that are caught up in this, okay, well, this is a really great time we're living in, we chose to be here, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not over yet. We've still got those hurdles to face. And we're not trying to scare people. We just want people to understand and be prepared, and just kind of in their minds, just stay aware in your zone every now moment that you're in, because you never know what's going to loom on the horizon. But the more that you're consciously open-minded and thinking about these things and learning, the better prepared you're going to be. And I think that that's a good message for people to take away. Some people that might get scared, and say, oh, well, what's going to happen? Oh, well, just be prepared in your mind and be aware in every now moment you're in. And that's a hell of a good start right there. And then go from there with trying to
start uniting with your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
That is the only way. And unite under consciousness, not fake reality, and not through manipulation.
Right.
Because unity can be done through manipulation, because people don't understand what's happening. People are being misinformed about everything, about what's happening. And so coming under resistance has a unified front, has a global family. That has to be done. There's no other way. We can't do this ourselves. This is a journey that has to be done together. This is, if we don't, we're not.
It has to be all for one and one for all, as the old cliche goes.
Exactly. And we can do this because we are intelligent beings. We have the tools. We have to tap into that knowledge that is still within us. We are still connected. And we have to get to that knowledge and that wisdom together.
as you say, Sarah, we have the tools, but we have to know how there is no way you can, if you have never seen the tool before, you can turn it upside down and try to use it, and it's not the way to use it. So we need to learn how to use the tools. That's what I'm talking about, the learnedmindpower.com, how to use your tools, because you have them. You are intelligent. We are all intelligent beings. And to comfort many who is listening to this, there is magic. And magic is thoughts, words, and sound. And there is a video I'm also going to post, is water have memory. And if you look into this short video of water, what kind of power you have, and together in harmony, working with the water, it's going to be very interesting, because if you see what water can do, you also get a hang of what you can do, what kind of power you have. You can purify your water with only sound, words, and thoughts. And having that power, can you just contemplate what kind of power you have only by doing? It doesn't seem to manifest that fast, but just knowing it and believing in it is, you don't even have to believe in it. You can just say it, just to say it, with coming from your heart, like imagine talking to a very close friend or someone that you love. You can say that I love you to the water, and knowing that you won't get sick and everything will be okay. You will cleanse the water in this way. And if you can do that, you can also start to think about what ripple effects you have on your fellow beings. And thinking about that Woodstock festival, we are also trying to come together and create and manifest. I'm really looking forward to that, because I'm living in a place on this planet where there is not so many awakened people, or they don't seem to come forward. And I don't see many around me that has
well, Jane, and not to interrupt you, but that kind of two things. One, we all are we're water beings basically. But back to what you're saying about nobody really seeming awakened around you. I mean, awakened. I think we all have experienced that where we're at. I mean, it just seems like we're so spread out, and this is kind of a I don't know, maybe we're put where we are to help bridge that gap in humanity. But you talk to everybody, almost to a person, in these groups, and it seems like we can all say the same thing. We're around a lot of people that aren't awakened. You know what I mean? It seems like we're all alone on an island, and without the internet, and before the internet days, boy, it really seemed like it. And of course, back then we really didn't know what the hell or why we felt so different. But I mean, yeah, I agree, and thank God for the internet and Facebook in a way, which it has become the people's group now at this point. I think that you know, we're coming together, and this would be an interesting thing to manifest, something like this event, and more areas around the world where people can live in harmony with each other of like mind, and spread that like mind to the whole world, if that makes sense. But I definitely agree and can understand where you're coming from, big time.
Yeah, it's about having patience to know that this is really possible. It's I think also the, coming together in woods, I think it would attract people, knowing what we're doing there, what we're coming from, what we are all about, is also going to ripple out and give some clue to others what kind of people we are. Because my vision about this is working together with Gaia, working in harmony, not polluting, not disrupting, not tossing things around, being in total harmony. I want to see this happen because I think it will have an effect on the country where it's going to be held, and to also to people seeing what we are doing, because I think we will be hanging out on the Pleiadian side and also posting some posts and pictures, and they all coming together. I want to see this happen because I think it will draw people to the group, and also I think we can also be more known in our own country for what we are and what we are all about.
No, I agree with you there, and I think that there's an old cliche that if you build it, they will come, or that's from a movie. But if enough people manifest anything, something it will happen. Whatever that desired goal is, if enough people for enough time manifest something, things of this nature will happen, and events of this nature will happen, and then it sets off another event, which sets us off another event, and it gives us that awareness to combat whatever evilness is here on earth, or whatever lies beyond us. You know what I mean? It just, the more we're aware, and the more as a collective we're aware, the better off that the better off that we're going to be for humanity. And I think that's a good way to kind of wind down our session here. And I just wanted to ask before we go, before we leave, Jane, is there anything else pressing at the moment you wanted to talk to? I know that you and I in the future, and Sara might be interested as well as Ciara in this, is your show that you want to do on the Dark Shadows, the Book of Shadows. That'll be great. But is there anything else, Jane, that you wanted to touch on?
For the moment, I think I will leave the Book of Shadows as what's coming down to, because it's really a big subject to touch upon. I'm going to be all over the place.
Right, and I didn't mean to call it Dark Shadows, by the way. I was thinking of an old cheesy 70s soap opera we had here in the United States called The Dark Shadows. But yes, the Book of Shadows, that'll be a good topic, and that'll be something that'll probably be a couple-hour-long show. And yes, Jane will be all over the board. You're going to be all over the Scandinavian Peninsula with that one, I know. So that'll be great. Sara, is there anything else that you had pressing on your mind right now, hon? I know that you have your new show that started today. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel pretty good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for next week's show.
It sounded good, except a couple technical, a couple of cutting in and out. But
oh my God, I know.
Isn't it a nightmare? It's kind of like these, but we do what we can do, and we forge on and go forward. But you sounded great. I was laying in bed listening to it and taking a nap, but I fell asleep probably towards the end. But I think you said it was 25 minutes long. I caught most of the show then, and I'll of course go back and re-listen to it, and I'm excited to be on it with you as well. And yeah, it's just wonderful. And so what else is going on? Anything else going on that you wanted to share with people before we wrap up?
No, not really. I'm good for the night.
Okay, then before we all say sayonara, we'll go around one more time. Sara, where can they find you on Facebook or on the internet, period, if somebody's looking to get a hold of you or hear what you have to say?
You can get hold of me at rising-planet.blogspot.ca. You can also find me anywhere on Facebook, Sara Browne. My groups and group page is Rising Planet. That's both the group and the Facebook page. And you can find me at Google+, Sara Browne.
Sara Browne, that's Brown with an E and Sara without an H, right?
That's right.
Okay, Jane Hermstad, in the land of the all-time sun, where can they find you, hon?
Oh, I'm mostly with the Pleiadians, and I'm in also Marco Bianco's group with the Arcturians, and I will also be on my private Facebook profile where you can message me, and I think I will be available there. and I'm on Google.
Yes,
So yeah, that's
you're all
about it.
over. We're all over cyberspace. All of us. We're just kind of floating around cyberspace, hooking everybody up, and trying to stay connected. And Sierra, the young rookie Sierra Morris, who's kind of probably just been observing and listening to us the rest of this time. Okay, Sierra, now's your chance to really lay it on the line. Where can anybody find you? And be specific. Let us know where we can find you in the vastness of cyberspace. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. I'll be here all week.
You can find me in the Pleiadians group, French Thinkers group. I have a Facebook as well.
Kidding.
And Google Plus. I have 2 other groups I'm in as well, so you can find me in the Galactic Federation group and the Home of Michael, the Archangel group as well.
Sounds great, and I would like to let everybody know out there that you can find me, like I haven't said it a million times, though. You can find me in, of course, my personal group, the Fringe Thinkers. You can find me as one of the admins, like Sierra and Jane are as well, and Leah Shapiro. Congratulations, by the way, Leah, again on 25,000. The Pleiadians Mothership Group. You can also find me on one of my 3 pages, the Pleiadian Light Grid Project, Pleiadian Woodstock, Pleiadian Disco 70s Culture. You can find me on Pleiadian Express Productions, on Google and YouTube, and you can also find me sometimes in one of the 17 to 20 Pleiadian regional groups that I have created around the world, which I think I've got everywhere around the world covered now, almost, except for maybe Russia and the Ukraine. But when the timing is right, and I don't feel that it is yet, when the timing is right, there will be a group created for that particular region of the world. I'm just kind of going by feel on that one, and we'll see how it boils down. And ladies, I wanted to thank you again for coming on the show and talking, and I think it's been really great. And thank you, Sara Browne in Toronto. Thank you, Jane Hermstad in Norway, and thank you, Sierra Morris in West Virginia. And I love you, ladies, and much love, and we'll see you, and goodbye to everybody. Namaste, and much love to everybody throughout the universe and galaxy. And that's a wrap.